I have mentioned before now that these seasons are very critical seasons where individuals sometimes want to paint pictures that are at variance with reality. I recall using the word transfer season to describe a season like this, where individuals may want to jump and then begin to look for who to blame and ascribe the movement to. Not too long ago, if you recall also in our last briefing, I advised the Deputy Senate President to try as much as possible to stay with the issues that could help his electioneering campaign and not to begin to stray in directions that will not in any way advance the cause of his interest. And I had thought that it was only those who speak for him that tend not to understand what the issues are. I read somewhere where he was mentioning that for 7 years we have received over 700 billion and that we couldn't account for that. And I began to wonder, 700 billion as what now? Shows that he does not understand how governance run and the data that is available. If in 7 years somebody is talking about 700 billion, so which means he thinks that the only thing we use in running this state every year is just 100 billion. Our wage bill alone, the recurrent side of the budget, is even far, far more than what he was mentioning. So, and if people want to raise issues, first of all, I need to remind him that Governor Okowa is not on the ballot with him. Governor Okowa is not running for any of the elections in Delta. He's not running to become a governor again. He's not even running for any of the elections that is limited to Delta. So it's important that he begins to address his mind to other issues rather than chasing shadows. As a government, we have been able to show transparently through you in the last 7 years the different projects and programs that we embarked upon. Programs such as the many platforms we have used to empower our youths and indeed a cross-section of Deltans. Policies such as the ones who are pronounced that affects the livelihood of our people, and indeed projects that are quite outstanding, such as the secretariat from where we are briefing you, the upgrade of the airport. And by the way, let me tell you that by tomorrow we'll be doing what has not been done anywhere in this country to calibrate our instrument landing system using a drone at the Asaba International Airport, which of course speaks to a very, very sound decision that culminated in the concession of that airport. Tomorrow, a lot of officials will be coming for the purpose of that, and we will also be inviting a number of you to join us at the airport at about 3 o'clock to witness that particular event. That, of course, makes our airport quite outstanding among the committee of airports in the country. And so you do know of the many projects that we have embarked upon that today have added value to the people of Delta, whether they live in the creeks or they live in the upland. So for anybody to be saying that 700 billion is not accounted for, you begin to wonder what you understand by 700 billion. I thought that being a member of the National Assembly, you'll be able to do some calculation. There has never been any year where we drew up a budget that is less than 360 billion. And so, if in all our budgets we have performed 100% at the current part of the budget, which is why we are always ensuring that salaries are paid as at when due, and that we have also performed significantly on the capital side of the budget, which of course had led to the many milestones we've recorded in roads construction, in building of schools, and of course building of infrastructure such as where we are now, the traditional rulers secretariat, the Stephen Keshi Stadium, the storm drainage both here and in Warren, and many other bridges like the frontal bridge, the frontal bridge and a frontal bridge, the Owerri Bridge, the floating market in Oge Warri North, and many of these projects that you have accompanied us to either inspect or to commission. So you begin to wonder if such a person will be capable of governing if he does not even have a clearer understanding of what statistics is all about. And so, as we go into the electioneering campaign, be rest assured that we are going to be putting across to our people what our party, the PDP, has done in Delta. And we have also seen a number of persons who are trying to question the rationale behind the rising profile of our governor. He didn't buy it from the market. He has performed, and many persons are saying it, and they believe that with his performance, he will add value to our national development. So those who, for political reasons, want to shortchange Delta and are beginning to speak to issues that are nowhere near reality, they need to be advised that the good Lord and the very wonderful people of Nigeria have seen that our governor has discharged his assignment very creditably here in Delta, and there are a lot of facts that speaks to that, particularly in terms of projects, in terms of programs, in terms of policies, of course, the advancement in the livelihood of our people, which underlines the payoff prosperity for all Deltans. And so we want to urge you to shun the possibility of individuals who may not have knowledge of what is happening and wanting to recruit people, because we hear they are looking for recruits, those who help them to paint pictures that are at variance. But we are consoled by the fact that those of you who are here have stayed with the truth, been very professional in your reportage of developments in Delta, and we're also consoled by the fact that you are seized of the many issues that we have undertaken as a state government. That being the case, we are not going to lose any sleep, that you will, of course, stay with the facts, and that we're also convinced that none of you will become possibly recruits of these individuals who are looking for persons who want to do their bidding and tell lies to the people of Nigeria. And as the events continue to unfold, we will let you into a number of the issues. The primary of the PDP has come and gone. The delegates spoke, and they spoke very loudly, and everybody who was there noticed and witnessed the transparency that characterized the process. Even the governor could not even vote on account of the non-assent being given to the Electoral Act as amended. So it's not a question of whether the governor voted more than, at least it was the delegates who spoke, and you were there, and they spoke very, very loudly. And look forward to the continuous peace in our state. We are determined, like ever before, to continue with the execution of a project, irrespective of the political season that we find ourselves. And that's why we continue to insist that up to the 28th of May 2023, Senator Dr. Ifeanyi Okowa will continue to implement those projects and programs that he has promised the people. We will stay on course. And for those who are trying to question how we are going to deploy the funds available to us, we will always answer them that as a government, we have always looked after the interests of our people and putting them first. And that we will not lose sight of in spite of whatever politicking anybody will want to bring about. But of course, you do know that the abysmal performance of the ruling party at the national level is enough challenge for anybody who want to come and challenge the very laudable programs and projects of Senator Dr. Ifeanyi Okowa. So we want them to go and correct their challenge first before looking in our direction, because that's enough trouble, rather than spending their energy questioning things that are not even questionable in the first place. That's why we have invited you this morning. We also like to take your questions or possible comments.
The primaries worked, actually had the apparatus of.
You know, the good thing about the 3 persons per ward, and the last time I checked, the governor is only, so you were there, the governor did not vote. And contrary to what many people say, that money with respect to delegates, that's not true. Not usually money that sways the delegates. I need to make that very clear. The delegates oftentimes have who owns them in their different wards. And I need you to know that. If you are a delegate from my ward, the tendency that because you know me and that I'm your brother, and that I can talk to you, and that possibly I have also supported your emergence as delegate, it's more powerful than any money anybody can give to you. That delegate from my ward is most likely going to ask me, brother, who do you think we should support? The same thing across the 270 wards in Delta. So when people think that because somebody they gave money or somebody didn't give money, that money, yes, you are free to give, but the power of the brothers and sisters of the delegates weighs heavily on the decisions of delegates, particularly in the developing country. Addressing strictly the issues you raised, thank God the governor did not vote. Thank God you saw the people who came, they called out all the delegates, nobody raised any question as to how the delegates emerged. The delegates came from their different wards. It's not as if the governor stayed in Abuja, Asaba, and produced any delegates. I can assure you that because I happen to come from the local government, the governor did not even know the delegates that even emerged from his wards because he was very busy with governance in Asaba. So why will he be interested in a number of other delegates? So let it not be a case of a man who was defeated in the game of wrestling and he said that many people gathered to fight him. It's normal that an election somebody will win. Other contestants put up a very, very good fight and we must commend them. They actually sort of enriched the process. But of course, you saw that even in the course of consultation, that it does appear, based on what we see in your different media, both we read and see in your different media outfits, that Sheriff Oborowori tend to have interacted more with the delegates. Because a number of times I read about his movements, I saw his pictures in your different media outfits. I watched him on television, and possibly he had more interaction with the delegates. Perhaps he went to the delegates rather than looking for a godfather. And when an election came, the godfathers didn't have a vote. The delegates had the votes.